they started setting me up with people and, getting me with people that I always dreamed of getting with.
Yeah.
And they were coming and wanting to write funny songs or something, and I wanted to write stuff to get cuts.
Yeah.
And that was the hardest part, probably.
Okay.
Because I still wanted to dominate, or, I wanted that to dominate my artist thing over my artist thing being the first. I wanted my artist thing to be secondary.
All right, welcome everybody again to another episode of the Studio 101 podcast. My name is Brad Phillips. I'm your host, and our special guest today is the Mr. Brandon Kinney. I've known Brandon for, 30 years going on, just about.
Golly, right. Yep.
Yeah, it's a long time.
1994, I think, wasn't it?
Somewhere way back when, man. So we're dating ourselves a little bit. Mm-hmm. But Brandon is currently in a publishing deal here at Pure Music in Nashville. And we are sitting in one of the writers' room here at Pure Music. Thanks to Pure Music for letting us hijack one of the writers' rooms for today's episode. But Brandon, kind of tell everybody who might be listening a little bit about where you're from, where you grew up, how you got into music and songwriting and singing and all that good stuff, man. Give us an idea of what that looks like for you.
Well, I grew up in West Texas, Lamesa, Texas. I was born in Lubbock, and Mom and Dad always played the radio in my bedroom when I was a baby, and I call it my honky tonk crib now. But and they were playing drinking and cheating songs to me at a young age.
Learning them young.
Exactly, and they did that so when their friends came over, they wouldn't wake me up. And so I blame them pretty much for it. But
that's good.
When I was about 12 or 13, I had a bike accident with a head injury that almost killed me and put me out of school for about a month. And I was in ICU for about 3 days and in the hospital for a week. And they told me there's no way I could play football anymore. So, Dad, I was bummed out about that, and I'd still go to games, and he could tell. I was bothered.
Yeah.
And he said, well, what about, would you want me to get you a guitar? And because I'd been talking about music. He knew I loved music. So he got me a guitar, and I just stayed in my room for probably 3 or 4 hours a day, just shut the door and just trying to learn, gospel songs and country songs. And then I started playing specials in church. I don't know if y'all call them that growing up, but
song special for Sunday, yeah.
Yeah, the music director would always come up to my mom after the morning service and be like, "Do you think Brandon would play a special tonight?"
Yeah.
And then I would be nervous the whole day. I didn't get to enjoy my Sunday afternoon because I was still shy in front of people.
I remember them days, yeah.
Yeah. So that's kind of how it started. So the bike accident, me riding a bicycle out of the back of my truck because I was into freestyling.
BMX,
that was just really cool. BMX. I still have that bike.
No way.
By the way, yep.
That's killer. I wish I still had mine, but
yeah, it's a Mongoose. It was an American-made Mongoose, one of the very few. And still remember what it looked like in the window. Little bitty bike shop in Lamesa. But anyway, so I did that. I played in church a little bit, and Mom had me in choir. Totally opposite of the music I normally write or listen to.
Yeah, right.
But I guess it was good training for my vocals, And, getting me ready for the opera career that I would never have. But oh, man. So I went from there, graduated. Nobody ever knew in high school or anything that I played.
Really?
Songs.
You kind of kept it under wraps
I
in
did.
high school?
I mean, I did win a poetry competition one time.
No way.
The winner got to leave school early. So it was, I came out of the closet for that, I guess.
Yeah,
but,
I hear you.
Anyway, so when I came back, after doing something, everybody was surprised.
Yeah. That's killer.
But I went on to East Texas to go to junior college. And
okay.
Am I supposed to look at the camera, Annie?
No, it doesn't matter.
No.
Nobody's looking at you.
So I went on to East Texas, Jacksonville Baptist College, and graduated from there. And then from there, I went to Belmont University.
Yeah, because I was trying to remember the timeline of you coming into town here in Nashville, because I guess I got here I guess I got here in like 95. Were you like 94, 95 when you came into town, or?
It was August of '94, so
Okay.
it was the first. I think it was the first semester of that year.
Gotcha. Yeah, because
It was the second semester, but it was when you normally come in, I think.
yeah. That would have been the fall of '94 then, yeah, because it was funny to me. Like I had been at Belmont a year or two maybe before we even kind of connected up through, who knows, through Touchstone or Mike Post or somebody, which these people listening have no idea who these guys are, but they're all characters. Maybe we can get them all on an episode one time or something. But
that would be fun.
But you know,
get the Need a Cut music crew together.
Need a Cut. Oh my God, we'll have to talk about that, man. That was the first. That was kind of you guys' first publishing venture. Okay, so we'll have to explain it. So it was called Need a Cut. Okay, so in Nashville.
It was spelled Needukutt.
Right.
We were clever.
Need a Cut, yeah.
Yep, Need a Cut.
Because in Nashville, when an artist cuts your song and you're trying to write these songs, you need a cut to make some money.
Yeah,
right?
you need a cut. You're starving.
Yeah, so nobody's. Yeah, we're sorry. I had
we
to
did that
explain
at Belmont, though.
Yeah, while you guys were at Belmont, you created it, the publishing company.
Yep. Jeremy Stover was the brainchild of it.
Yeah.
That's not the right word. But you know, he's the real creator, and we all just he set up a meeting with us, and he said we all need to meet in the library. So we met in the library, and he wouldn't tell us what we were going to meet for.
This is great.
It was he's top secret, dude. Yeah. And so we got in there, and he said, I think all four of us. I think it was four of us, 5 of us at that time. Yeah, 5. We need to start a publishing company together. Yeah. You know,
that's incredible.
And we'll have a meeting every week, I think.
Yeah.
And play the songs that we wrote, and decide which ones we need to pay to demo. And we put our money in and demo.
Right.
And we all own it.
That's amazing, man. And then we're for people who don't know who we're talking about. Jeremy Stover now runs Red Creative here in Nashville as the CEO, owner. I don't know what producer. Jeremy's produced.
Big songwriter.
Producer.
Justin Moore.
Yeah. Yep.
Bunch of acts actually, but
yeah, for sure. So yeah, that's great, man. I never knew how that all went down, but that's hilarious to know that you guys started in the library at Belmont. So
yeah,
but yeah, so that's your first pub deal. It was straight out of Belmont, coming from East Texas.
Jacksonville, Texas. Yeah, that was coming out of the Jacksonville Baptist College.
Yeah. So I don't know if I ever even asked you this before, but like, what brought you from there to decide, hey, I want to come to Belmont, to like the music business program thing? What was the catalyst that kind of brought you there?
Well, I think my mom found a college for me because she knew I wanted to go to Nashville.
Yeah.
And she knew I wanted to do the country music thing, so she wanted me to finish. Her and Dad made me promise I'd graduate college.
Okay.
So she found the school for me.
Yeah.
And she helped me figure out what credits I need to take at Jacksonville, because I just was not invested in school at all.
Yeah.
And but I did do what she said, because I probably would have been on a ranch somewhere working for $5 an hour at the time or something, you know.
Gotcha.
And then eventually come back to Nashville, because I wanted to be a cowboy too.
Mm-hmm.
So I was kind of just going wherever the wind took me, but I think she helped me focus that towards Nashville.
Yeah.
And so that's how I ended up at Belmont. I think she found it, or somebody told her about it or something. And
the rest is history.
Mm-hmm. And when I graduated, I walked off the stage and handed them my degree and said, "I'm gonna go write songs now. This is for y'all."
That's great, man.
So
so
I haven't seen it since then. I don't even know.
Don't even know
where it is.
So let's talk about that for a minute. So coming out of the Belmont situation into the, we're sitting on Music Row right now, coming into Music Row, like what was your first official pub deal that you landed, and how long did it take after you graduated from Belmont to kind of land the first pub deal?
So I graduated December of '96, and then I started plugging songs, and doing that for about a year or so. And then worked for Coca-Cola, and then I worked for PowerTel, it's a cell phone company, and got my first publishing deal in 2001.
2001.
Mm-hmm.
So you're talking 5 years from graduating Belmont till like the first official pub deal.
Yeah, I had 2 kids by then.
Yeah.
Or no, I had 1 kid and 1 kid on the way.
Gotcha. Yeah, and that's the thing. See, this is the thing that I love to kind of talk through is like, people who are thinking about the songwriting industry or becoming an artist or whatever the things are, is to like wrap their mind around like the time that it takes to develop. Not everyone is given a pub deal in the first year that they're pitching their songs. So it's like sometimes it takes a while for those things to kind of develop and the right fit. The right publishing company with the right writer and somebody. I mean, to me, it's somebody who's willing to give you a chance too. Because it probably in 2001 you guys were, they gave you a little bit of money and you had to turn in a certain amount of songs per month, and you had a demo budget and all those things. I don't know if you want to talk about that maybe a little bit, what that looked like as far as your first deal. Kind of what did the requirements look like for you?
I think it was only 10 songs a year, but that's like 10 full songs. So if I wrote back then, if I co-wrote it all, I wasn't doing 3 ways.
Yeah.
I don't remember doing 3 ways unless it was a rarity.
Yeah.
I was mainly doing 2 ways, just me and one other guy. So 2 of those would be 1 song, right?
Mm-hmm.
Look at percentages. So that would be 20 songs if I did them all.
Yeah.
And I think I came in making $24,000 a year.
Yes.
I mean, it was still amazing.
Yeah, no, for sure. Then,
at the time.
Yeah, but what a lot of people I don't think wrap their mind around is like the publishing company's taking a risk on you with that money, and they're saying Brandon's going to get a cut, and we're going to make that money back. So it's almost like a loan, right?
It is a loan, yeah.
You got to look at it like, yeah, I'm getting this upfront money, but I also got to write my butt off so I can get a song on somebody's record or get a radio cut or whatever it is legit what they're taking a risk on when they sign you. So, but yeah, that's shoot, man, that's 24 years ago for your first pub deal.
Mm-hmm.
And I know it's kind of morphed and developed over the years. Kind of talk about how that works and like, because after a certain amount of time, a publishing company's gonna they'll either take your option or whatever, to keep you or kind of move on,
Mm-hmm.
Give everybody a little bit of an insight as to what that looks like. At the end of your deal, do you sit down with the owner of the publishing company and figure out which direction you're going to go? How does that look?
If you remember when your option is up, you don't miss it.
Yeah.
A lot of times, sometimes I've seen it get down to the wire where I'm like, oh, what do you want to do?
Yeah.
And usually I kind of felt, if I ever was about to leave, I kind of felt like it was going that way.
Yeah. Do you think it's a mutual thing, or like is it like a?
I think so.
Yeah. Both parties will kind of know if it's the right thing.
Yeah, I think so.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there was one that was kind of, I didn't know what they wanted to do because I'd gotten a record deal and then I was getting out of that. They wanted me to sign with their company to be this new label they were starting, and I didn't want to do it. So at that point, I think they were getting less interested in me, because kind of hurt their feelings a little bit.
Yeah.
That's the only real definite I felt like, and I was ready to move on anyway. So I guess it was mutual. Even
well, let's sort of backtrack a second and fill everybody in. So Brandon was able to jump in as an artist and release a full record as an artist, in addition to being a songwriter, right?
Mm-hmm.
So obviously you wrote all the songs on the record, or co-wrote, or however you guys put it together. Do you feel like that was an ideal situation? Was it harder that way? Was there more pressure when you're the artist and the songwriter, and what did that look like for you? As far as having a record deal and a publishing deal going on at the same time.
The hardest part was having, I wanted to write for my record, and which was a separate thing from what I would write for everybody else, because I was writing fun stuff, and
Yeah.
some of it lent itself to humor, and and there wasn't a lot, nobody was doing that.
We'll tag the record in the podcast, so everybody can go take a listen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's still up.
Yeah, I think I found it the other day.
Oh,
So
did
for
you?
Sure
Good. If not, I'll get on that.
Okay, we'll make sure that everybody can listen.
So, but they did some kind of songwriters. Not to get off the subject.
No, you're good.
The record was up, and then iTunes got this Brandon Kinney songwriters page,
Okay.
and the other one went away. And I was like, why
Really?
did my record go away?
Wow.
So
Okay.
we got to. I'm not sure. It may be up now.
Okay, we can find it for sure.
Either way, we'll try to get it up for you. But as far as like the songwriter thing, I didn't really need a bunch of people. I kind of had most of my record done, but they started setting me up with people and, getting me with people that I always dreamed of getting with.
Yeah, yeah.
And they were coming and wanting to write funny songs or something, and I wanted to write stuff to get cuts. you
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
And that was the hardest part probably.
Okay.
Because I still wanted to dominate, or I wanted that to dominate my artist thing over my artist thing being the first. I wanted my
I got
artist
you.
thing to be secondary.
Yeah, so that was probably a weird scenario where like you didn't want to be known for a thing that might be those funny, humorous type songs. You didn't want to be known this out that, hey, Brandon Kinney, this is his only lane.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
that can hurt you in the as far as I may not have got any cuts I got now if the record thing would have worked out. You know what I mean?
I hear you.
Because it'd be like, we don't,
Yeah, that Brandon guy, I don't know if he can write for Luke Bryan or whatever.
People would laugh when I'd sing serious songs, and I'd be like, no, I wasn't funny.
Yeah, that was supposed to be serious. you're out of dead serious
We're
song.
back there going,
Yeah, no, whoa,
No,
the
it's
guy
not.
died?
This is
What?
not funny.
No. Man. Yeah, so I could see where that would be like a little bit of a rub where, you wanted people to take you serious about like writing songs to pitch to other artists and not kind of pigeonholed into this one thing. But man, I'm telling you, that record is the best.
oh, thanks, man.
It's
fun.
fantastic. As a matter of fact, I shared a song with a friend of mine about a week ago. He bought a brand new smoker. And I said, listen to this on the way home. It'll inspire you when you go home to work on this, pork butt.
So you found that on the internet?
I did find that on the internet.
Well, good.
Yeah,
Okay.
so it's out there. You can't.
It's about barbecue, y'all.
It's only about barbecue, nothing else. I promise.
Yep.
Yeah.
If you think anything else, you might want to go to church.
It's all on you. It's all on you at that point, right? But anyway,
Amen.
So, moving past that, the record deal situation. What did it look like for you to get? Well, you tell me, like, what was like your first, what you felt like was a big song that it paid out well for you, or it was like a major artist, or what was kind of your first one, and what year was that?
Well, my first big single was "You're Like Coming Home," Lone Star,
Right.
and I wrote that with Jeremy Stover and Brian Mayer.
Okay.
So that Belmont connection, the friends I made there,
Sure.
we got to celebrate together.
Yeah.
I think Jeremy might have had one or two already, but that was my first. So
Gotcha. What, you remember what year that was?
that was I think it says 2004 on the sheet music.
Okay.
So I think that's when it.
So like that's 3 years after like your first major pub deal, you got what you felt like was your biggest cut
Yeah.
to date. So we're talking. I'm trying to do the math on this. 7 or 8 years after, like finishing, the Belmont thing, doing the college thing, you feel like you finally got your first sort of big cut. People know Brandon Kinney wrote this song. Out on a big Lone Star. Some people may not even remember Lone Star. We may have to refresh people. It's been so long ago. But so Lone Star was kind of the first thing. Do you feel like that propelled you into like, hey, Brandon Kinney's a legit writer. I want to get in the room with him, with other, gave you more opportunities to write with different people in town, maybe?
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, it definitely opened up the doors, and people knew the song, so it was.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't even. I think it made it to 7, and then they just pulled it. It was like, we give it all we got.
Give it all we got. Yeah.
It's over.
Well, you got to think in that time frame in 2004, the Apple streaming and downloads was, believe it or not quite a huge piece of the music industry puzzle yet at that time. There were still physical copies in Walmart, and we had Tower Records here in Nashville, and people were going and buying physical copies. So even if you didn't get a radio cut, at that time, getting an album cut was still, man, that was still fairly lucrative if the record did really well. Mm-hmm. Because the physical copies included all the mechanicals for every song. Everybody kind of got paid. If you sold 1 million copies, so.
Yeah, I mean, even if you download a whole record, you still don't get paid the same. It's not.
The rates are not the same.
No.
Yeah, right. Well, maybe that's a good time to kind of talk a little bit about that. And I don't know I don't know how much you want to speak into the streaming royalties and the rates and all the things that are set up right now. I know that there's been a push for the last 2 years, some legislation coming from Washington and whatnot to try to force these outlets to pay out more, set a more standard streaming rate and a download rate and all these things, so that publishers and writers kind of get more of their cut of what they deserve. Mm-hmm. Of the piece of the pie. So I don't know if you have a perspective you can share about what that looks like for you or for the industry in general. What's your feelings on that?
I mean, right now it's set up to where whoever owns the master is the one that makes most money, which that's usually the artist or the label that's, doing it if they're on a major label.
Yeah.
NSAI's fought for us. They got our rates up. I mean, they've been awesome. They're constantly going to Washington and doing things. And
right.
I just kind of leave, I've done a couple things for them to help raise money for NSAI, which that's been cool. But they've talked about me going to Washington with them and playing and stuff. But
yeah,
it's just a matter of getting the people who make the laws, to understand that we've got families.
Sure.
And this was pretty much our bread and butter. This is what we need.
Yeah.
In order to survive. If we're going to be songwriters. Mm-hmm. If not, we got to do something else.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of them just think that we're just making money hand over fist in this industry, and we're not.
It's not the same. It's not. This is not 1996 Nashville. The land, out the window has changed with the landscape, obviously, but the money coming in is not the same numbers by 50% or less. It is basically 50% or less than it was maybe in 96, 98. Mm-hmm. And that's globally. And, it has everything to do with physical copies being eliminated, basically.
In radio, radio's what we fell back on when CDs, sales went down,
mm-hmm.
But now it's like a lot of people seem to be just listening or streaming,
mm-hmm.
and that's where the least of our way to make a buck comes from.
Yeah, for sure.
But I'm not worried about it either. I mean, God's always taking care of me no matter what. Mm-hmm. I mean, I feel sorry for, anybody coming up. I mean, I didn't have what they had in the 90s either, so.
Yeah, I know.
I've heard stories, and so those guys are, still driving around really nice cars. So.
For sure, yeah.
But I've been blessed. I'm not complaining at all, and I'm not complaining about where we're at right now because I know it's all going to work itself out one way or the other. So.
Yeah, and I think there was kind of a lull for a few years about rates and streams and all those things were kind of in limbo, and there was some. I don't think the payouts were very good at all, but I do think I sort of sense a shift like right now in 2025 about a way for the artist and the label and the writer to kind of tap back into some of that stream of funds that had been missing for a little while, mm-hmm. whether it comes through what we're doing right now, podcasting, social media videos and all those kind of things, or there are more outlets, and it's almost like it's different ways to sort of go out there and snag that income that's hanging out there, So,
Yeah.
but I do think that as far as payout rates, if you want to just go ahead and name Spotify and Apple, which are your biggest outlets right now, it's like just making sure that a little pressure stays on them to make sure that they need to pay out these writers that are in Nashville for all the streams that are happening. So it's an incredible way to consume music as far as the streaming and the downloads and all that stuff. It's in the palm of your hand at all times, right? I told somebody recently that I always feel like Napster was first. You could download stuff underground, but then it's like iTunes came out and it revolutionized and destroyed the music industry all in one little app. It's a crazy way to look at it, but it's like being able to listen to any artist and any song at any time in the entire world that's the most amazing thing I've ever heard of.
I know.
It's like how can you? I don't know how. I have no idea how it all works, but it's there in the palm of my hand, and I can search and click on a song and listen to it. But the downside was, you put out, there's a couple artists that put out double albums recently, and 32, 38 songs at a time. But if you find your favorite song, it's 99 cents for one click. You can click on one song instead of $32 for the whole thing. As a matter of fact,
so you can still buy records on.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I think a couple of the double albums that came out were $16, which blows my mind as well.
Yeah, I need to find that page because I thought all you could do is just kind of save it and.
Yeah, iTunes Store.
They may be charging me when I'm saying. I don't know.
Yeah, iTunes Store is still there, so you can.
Really.
$1.29 per single, 99 cents per single. I don't know, $6 or $8 for an EP. Sometimes, and you can download them and own instead of streaming, you can own the copy of it. So, yeah.
Well, what's the reason for doing that? If you can just download or load the record for free.
It just depends on.
Don't listen to me. Just go buy it.
It depends on if you're 48 years old like me and you want to have a copy of the song.
Yeah.
On my in my iTunes folder or whatever. And sometimes, as from an engineering standpoint, like if I hear a mix that I really like of a song that's out, like I'll pull the actual file into my iTunes store, out of the iTunes store, and like open it up and I can look at how loud it is and maybe analyze EQ a little bit.
Oh, that's cool.
There's things that can be done from there, but yeah, it's definitely not the norm anymore because you can pay $15.99 for a Apple Family subscription and share.
Oh, that's
all
what
the
I
music,
have. I have a subscription. That's why it doesn't do that.
Yeah, you made at least 0.001 cents out of that.
Yeah.
Whatever you pay per month, $19 a month or something.
No.
They're sending Brandon Kinney 0.001 cents.
I'm paying them more than they're paying me.
Yeah, for exactly.
Shoot.
But it's the climate that we're in, and art kind of just art in general has always been that way. It's like, how much is your art worth? Is kind of a struggle that's been happening, whether it's paintings, whether it's music, or whatever. So
yeah,
it's hard to value that stuff sometimes.
We could stress about it. I don't know. I mean, we got to have somebody fighting for it, but
for sure,
I'm probably not that guy.
Yeah.
Because I think I just feel blessed enough where I'm just like,
right.
It's all God's anyway.
I hear you, man. So over the years, you've had a couple different publishing deals going, and what year did you land here at Peer?
2015.
So you've been here for 10 years at Peer.
Yeah.
And tell us a little bit about tell us a little bit about Peer Music and what they're all about, and this family of songwriters and stuff that's here.
I was over at Sony before this for 5 years, and Leslie DePiro and Bob DePiro, they had a joint thing with them, and I'd met Michael Knox. He runs Peer. I'd met him several times, and Kim Wiggins was over here at the time plugging songs, and I was friends with her. She was at Sony before that. And when I was coming out of my Sony deal, they were, I had a chance to stay there.
Yeah.
But it was just time. I think it was time to move on and move to that next step. But I just loved the family atmosphere that was here. I loved it. It's smaller, even though I think it was the first company that started BMI. It was BMI's first publisher. Was Beer.
Gotcha.
And they had the father of country music, Jimmy Rogers. And it was just, I love history, and I love, coming into something that's already got its roots deep in the ground, of country music or what. That was just cool to me.
Yeah.
And, Michael Knox and Kim, they were just, I always looked up to them, and she's since moved on to Seagull, but I just remember sitting in the room with Knox and him just saying, we want people that fit in here like a family. We want you to want to come in, and we want to celebrate together. And I just okay. I just felt it. It wasn't what he was saying. It was just I just feeling that he meant it. You know what I mean? So that's kind of what I needed.
Yeah.
And that's what it's been.
Gotcha. So you got to come in, and for those people who don't know, Knox works. He's worked a bunch with Jason Aldean over the years, and you'll have to correct me if I'm wrong. How many songs did you end up with Jason Aldean over the last few years?
Not a whole lot, but I think I got one on this new one going to come out.
Yeah,
like 4, 5.
Give us the. My brain is failing me right now. Give us the titles of some of the, maybe a single or two that he had out.
Drowns the Whiskey.
Yeah,
that was mine. The Set It Off was on his record.
Yeah.
One called One for the Road.
Yeah.
And this new one is High Road.
Gotcha.
I think that might be all.
Kind of fill us in. Any other artists that you got cuts on that you could think of that people might recognize? Stuff that you're proud of, man. Something that we might not know, might not be, but something that you're super proud of that you got cut.
Well, Swindell had, I called him Swindle when I first met him.
Mr. Swindle.
I just fell right back into that, didn't I?
That's hilarious.
I remember asking him one time, is it Swindle or Swindell? This was after we'd been friends for 2 years. But anyway, he recorded a bunch of songs. I actually put them on his records, but the single I had with him was Love You Too Late, and that was the number one. We had John Party, Ain't Always a Cowboy.
That's right, yeah.
And we had some Luke things, and Randy Houser, Boots On was before Pier.
Yeah, that's the one. I love that one too.
But that was like, me and Randy wrote that back. Montgomery Gentry almost recorded that too.
No way.
And then Chris Young, they wanted it for Chris, and then Randy was like, I've already got a record deal now. I want it.
Yeah, I want it for myself.
So, but that's probably one of my favorites because that was a fun song, and it reminded me of my dad. We wrote it for our dads pretty much. It's a Crooked Little Grin was my dad. He just had that weird. I don't know if he had more muscles on the left side or what, but he had a crooked grin, and it was just a cool song. It was fun to play.
Killer. Yeah, that's a great lineup of stuff, man, and it just. I know it's satisfying for you as a writer to put in all this time for all these years, and then, some things to finally start artists are like, hey, well, I need a Brandon Kinney song, want to come in, with Randy wanting to come in and write with you and put a song on the record, I know it's got to be a satisfying thing to get to a point where it's like, all right, got some things going, it took how, almost 10 years to get your first one, and all that kind of stuff. What's cool to me, man, is I've known you all these years, and I know you're in there to work your butt off and get stuff done. And there's a lot of people that would have quit, There's a lot of people that would have quit when it wasn't going their way or whatever. But you're one of those guys who stuck in and was like, "This is going, we're going to do this thing," And I think that's a testament of, your personality and your drive to work and all those things. And That's something that you got to have. This industry, I was talking with somebody, I think 2 days ago, that was, just trying to get started in this industry, and it's cutthroat a lot of days, man. It's, sink or swim, but you got to have a little bit of something different. You know what I mean? A little bit different. You're built different, I guess, a little bit.
Maybe just not enough going on up here.
Yeah, there's a few there's a short in the whole.
A few marbles missing in my tool shed.
Yeah, but it's a tough industry to stay in for a long amount of time. Because you and I both have friends that have kind of moved on from the music industry and doing incredibly well in other industries. But it's kind of dog eat dog up here a lot of times.
Yeah,
it's not super easy to stay in for a long game.
I know. Yeah, it's just I've told many a kid come in from the beginning that perseverance, if you just don't quit, because I've seen plenty of talented, better than I am writers just be done. They're just like,
yeah.
I didn't know it was like this. I didn't know it was this hard,
Yeah.
It's like you don't just come in all the time. Some people, it's like a lottery ticket if you do, but winning the lottery is if you get it going pretty soon.
Yeah, 5 years. If you're within 3 to 5 years of something getting going, man, you did win the lottery probably.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's
But in a way, if you're doing something you love, it's not that. Doesn't seem as long as it really
for sure
is. Because you're still getting to do something you love, so that's part of the payoff.
Yeah, for real.
It's like that with anything, though.
It is. I think it applies to whatever industry you might be in, for sure. So for anybody that's listening or watching that might be an aspiring songwriter, give us a day, kind of what a day looks like. Today you left. You live outside of Nashville, kind of out in the country, and coming into town, and you had scheduled writing stuff for today. What does a day like today look like for you, as far as coming in? Did you reach out to the writer that you were working with today? Does the publishing company put that together for you? What on a regular writing day session, like, give us an idea of how it works.
Most of the time, I let them handle my calendar.
So Peer kind of handles your scheduling.
Because if I'm handling it, my wife be talking me out of stuff. She'd be like, "I need you to mow today. What are you doing?"
Yeah.
But I can put it off on them. It's like they got me.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. She wants me to work too. She knows I've got to do this. I got to leave the house to get something going.
Yeah.
But now they hooked it up. Now usually the publishers, have the pluggers. They'll get together and they'll email, text each other, call each other, whatever, and say, "I've got this, guy. Who do you got?"
Yeah, and they're looking when you say that, like, the publisher's kind of looking for what they feel like is a good personality fit. Maybe they've heard lyrics from both writers, and they're trying to find a fit so that when you come in here, maybe something magical will happen. And that's kind of the platform they're looking at when they're pairing you up with somebody.
Yeah, I think so. They're all, I don't know if they're trying to match us creativity, because I've been with some people that are just opposite. That we come up with something awesome.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I don't know how. I don't know. Maybe they do have some kind of magic formula, but I think a lot of times they're just trying to find something find somebody for me that has got something going on, or that they like their music, or they think I could do something, for them.
Yeah.
And some of that's reputation. Some of that helps me get in to new artists that have already got a record deal, or maybe an artist that has a record deal that's been out before. It might help me. But a lot of those relationships I've established on my own, that I'll set that up myself,
Gotcha.
I'll see them out, or they'll want to write because they know some of my other stuff.
Gotcha.
But they're putting it together most of the time. So
when you come in, like when you came in today, from from all your years of experience of doing this, do you have a little magic book of hooks or ideas or you know stuff you write down during the week? What do you come into a write with as far as ideas go, or do you come in and sit down and just you guys start talking and see where it leads? How does that work?
Well, today we talked for a while, uh, and the girl, there was three of us. Lance Miller, I knew. Emily Landis, I knew, but we have never written together.
Mm-hmm.
I thought we had.
Yeah.
I said, "What did we write before?" And she said, "We hadn't written yet." And I said, "Okay." And it's such a, you're going in every day meeting somebody new.
Yeah.
And for some reason, I had thought we had written because we'd played shows together and done things like that. Mm-hmm. So I thought we had written. But we hadn't even written yet. And so we were just sitting there throwing out some ideas. I was looking through my notes, the little yellow notes in your
Yep, which is where you're putting your ideas down.
iPad.
As you get
what
them,
is it?
Your
iPhone?
notes, yeah.
And so that's what I use for my ideas.
Right.
I just go in, and I've got them all the way. I'm assuming that these are like 10 years old. Like all the way, because I'm scrolling to get down to the bottom to type something in new.
Right.
And I've got stuff I've written, or ideas I've written down maybe 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Or maybe not that far back, but somewhere in one of my phones, there's 10 years ago in there.
Right.
But so this one we wrote today, I didn't even remember writing this one down, so it was probably several years back. But it just worked for today.
Okay.
So that's what we're doing, just kind of sitting, trying to come up with ideas or scrolling through, or sometimes we just come up with it talking.
Yeah. And there's probably, well, this probably doesn't happen a lot, but I'm sure there's been times when you're in a room with, a co-writer, or if it's a 3-person write, that maybe nothing is coming out, like maybe it's not going well. Does that happen before, or like, what do you do in that situation when you don't feel like it's working?
I'm not one of the guys that just says, after an hour and a half, let's just call it.
Yeah.
I'll sit there and I'll try to get something. But we've had it before where we just talk so much and enjoy the fellowship so much, we just can't come up with anything because we end up talking the whole time.
Yeah.
Don't tell my wife that.
We'll edit that out.
Okay. But anyway, so that's about the only time. I don't get stressed anymore. I used to get stressed and feel like, writer's block this, writer's block that.
Yeah.
I just know those days are coming, but I'm still able to write something. It's just not knocking me out.
Yeah.
So, luckily, I think I relax enough where I can still write a song. Where used to, I'd worry about it while I was in the writing.
Gotcha.
Like, I suck,
Yeah.
Telling myself that stuff.
I understand.
And then the next day I'd come in and just fire it off, and I'm like, okay, there's something going on here. I'm not going to hit it every day.
Right. And there's an understanding in these writes that you guys do that, like, maybe you finish, or maybe you don't. Maybe you get through a certain portion of the idea and you press pause, but you come back. Do you usually come back around to those songs at some point? How does that work typically?
Yeah, if we've got something that we really like a verse and a chorus, and we didn't get, it's getting towards the end of the day, and I know I've got responsibilities and they've got stuff or whatever.
Yeah.
We'll either try to set it up right then, or we'll just talk about getting back together and never do it. Not because we don't want to.
Yeah.
It's just because it's really hard to keep up with your schedule anyway.
Yeah.
But if you're feeling like, okay, this is great, I know if we let this go too long, it's going to be hard to get back into it because it was hard today. But I love it, so let's do it.
Yeah. Do you have moments where, over the 20-something years you've been doing this, like, do you have moments where you just know, like, yeah, man, this is gonna be on the radio? Like, do you ever have just this moment of where you just knew there was, like, this is a no-brainer, somebody's gonna put this on the radio, as soon as we get done with it. Like, have you ever had that happen
Yeah, I've had 100 number ones in my mind.
in your mind?
Yes. So to answer your question, I think sometimes I know, like, I mean, Drowns the Whiskey, I wrote that at Sony, and when I was leaving there, I thought, we wrote this 2 years ago.
Yeah.
I love this song. Nobody's ever going to cut it because it's too country. Mm-hmm. But I wanted a demo for myself, so I did it.
Yeah.
And then that was my first number one.
So it was 2 years in the making, kind of, basically. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, but but I think it was number one 6 years after we wrote it.
6 years after you wrote it. Gotcha.
I think so, yeah.
Crazy.
So it might have been over 2 years when I demoed it. But I know that there was like 6 years by the time we got the number one. We looked at the deal and it was 6 years old.
That's crazy, man.
So I've learned to trust more what I like versus what I think is going to be a hit. Mm. So if I like it, I'm going to enjoy it.
Yeah.
And then maybe somebody will jump on board.
Yeah, well, I mean, as a writer, like, you got to be pumped about what you're putting out there for artists whatever you're pitching to the artist. If you're not pumped about it, then, I mean, they're not going to be pumped about it either.
Right.
So, you got to have that attitude of like, yeah, man, you got to cut this, give me, give me an album cut, this might be a single, and I know the people here at Peer are probably doing the same thing for you.
Yeah.
They're saying on your behalf, hey, Jason Aldean, man, you got to cut this, because it's all about relationships and giving the right song to the right artist and
mm-hmm.
the right fit and all those things, and it takes a team of people to recognize all those things. Even with scheduling, with you guys putting different people in the room, there's a little bit of art behind, like, what's going to work for certain artists, and
mm-hmm.
has there ever been a surprise for you, like a song you thought was going to go a certain way, but a different artist cut it and had success with it, like, or do you typically know, like, this is kind of a Jason Aldean groove, or I don't know if you ever think about it that way or not.
I mean, kind of. I mean, there was a kind of a surprise. I had Ain't Always a Cowboy. I was kind of thinking for Tim McGraw.
I could totally see that. Yeah.
Yeah, and he had it on hold, and but he had it on hold for a while, I think, and then, John Party came. They called and said, "Hey, John loves this song, and we're cutting Monday." It was a Friday.
Right.
They're like, "Could we have this song?" And so we did the calls, and Tim McGraw's folks let it go.
Yeah.
Because we had a for sure thing, and they didn't, they couldn't give me a for sure thing because he wasn't ready to cut
right,
yet.
Yeah.
So, but that was a surprise, and that was kind of quick too, which was cool. Mm-hmm. And that, I love Tim McGraw, so that would have been a cool.
Crazy.
But that's kind of who I pictured doing it.
Yeah.
But then they came in, and John did it his way, so it was kind of
Which was a great song.
Yeah.
So it turned out great.
So, but yeah, I wouldn't have expected that.
Gotcha. We'll kind of reel things in here as we wrap up, but for some of the audience that's just watching or listening that is interested in songwriting as a living, I don't know, man. Can you speak into something, some little nuggets of wisdom maybe that you picked up along the way, that if you were a young writer in 2025, like, hey, I wish this is something that I knew, or man, I would have done this a little bit different. Maybe just some kind of advice for maybe up and coming songwriters that might apply to them during their journey right now.
Well, I'm going to steal from Bob DePiro.
Okay.
Because I heard Bob when I was at a songwriters workshop. Before I had a writer's deal, he was on this panel, and he said, when I came to town, I would write with anybody and everybody that would write with me. I'd write with the water fountain, he said.
Yeah.
And that's what I would say, write with the water fountain. Write with whoever, just to get better. Before you come to town, I would write as much as by myself as I could. Mm-hmm. Just find out who you are, and then come and write with better writers.
Yeah, I love that.
If you write with better writers, you're going to get better.
That's something that a lot of the artists that come through the studio who are they're in a spot where they've been writing by themselves a bunch, because that's where they are in their career. You know, they don't really have a community of songwriters like exist here in this town. You know, and I think that's some of the things that I've talked to some young writers about as well, is like, you know, if you can get Brandon Kinney to let you in the room with him, and you're gonna be totally you know, like scared to death probably to jump in a room with a guy like Brandon Kinney, but it's gonna make you better because you're gonna be pushed to see like how a seasoned veteran, you know, kind of approaches a song, and I think it pushes you to be better when you put yourselves in those co-writing situations, because it's uncomfortable, you know.
No.
So maybe sometimes somebody you don't know or whatever, but I do think that's a key thing that you said to sort of developing your songwriting, is getting in a room with somebody else who's got a different viewpoint. Maybe you're bringing your idea that you already wrote. We see that sometimes at the studio too, is, you know, we get a demo and then we're like, man, what if you did this, you know, change the chord structure right there, maybe reword that bridge, you know. When you get that outside viewpoint on things, man, it opens up a whole new world, in my opinion, for how you approach songs.
It does. It really does. You know, and a lot of times I found a long time ago that it was hard for me to write by myself because I didn't have somebody there telling me if it was good or not.
That's great.
That's one of my favorite things about co-writing, is like I've got somebody sit there and check me.
Yeah.
That way I don't have to think about it. Because I'll find myself just sitting there going, is it good? And I'll stumble because the creative process doesn't keep going, because I'm checking myself too.
Yeah.
But I'm getting better about that too. We're just not worry about it. Just keep going.
Yeah.
And then come back later and edit. But
Yeah. But one of the things is like just getting that idea out. Like if you have an idea, just get it started.
Yeah.
With something, and then
keep the flow going. You know.
Yeah.
Don't do like I did a lot and get tripped up, and now all the other lines you would have came up with are blocked because you're thinking about this one little line on the second line of the song.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Just let it flow, and then go back and edit.
Gotcha. Well, man, you got anything exciting coming up that you want to share? Like any particular song coming out that you can share that you're like, man, you guys need to go check this out?
Yeah, we just John Party just put another record out last week, I think.
Yep, that's right.
And we have a song called "He Went to Work" on there, and he played that on Fox and Friends, which I did get to go back that night and see it because we don't have cable. So
sometimes you don't have internet when you crush it with the skid steer.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah,
you saw that?
Yeah.
I had people. I didn't know she posted that.
Happens to the best of us when we crash our internet with the skid steer.
I was digging a ditch.
Yeah.
They shouldn't have put it there. I told
Working
them.
Man. This man, hard-working man out there in the country with a skid steer, crushing his internet.
That's funny.
Well, Brandon, man, listen, I sincerely appreciate your time, dude. I know you're a busy guy, and I really love to hear, you know, what you know, your viewpoint on songwriting in 2025, and I appreciate the insight you're going to be able to give to the people that are listening. And man, I'm just proud to know you, man. And,
oh man, I feel the same about you.
And thankful for our friendship over the years, and it's been a blast to kind of see your success, and you know, flip through the credits and Brandon Kinney, you know, there's my man Brandon Kinney had a song released on the radio, and all that kind of stuff. So, but once again, man, appreciate you sitting in with us and giving us some wisdom today. And we'll have to do it again soon.
I'd love to.
But for now, that's all for today's episode of the Studio 101 podcast. Thank you guys for jumping in to take a listen, and we'll see you next time.
See you.